Porcelain Dreams, Charlotte of Belgium and the Herren Miramar patron. In the hushed halls of Belgium's royal palaces, few stories echo with as much beauty and sorrow as that of Charlotte of Belgium. A princess who became an empress, a dreamer who tried to unite worlds, and a woman remembered today not just in history books but in porcelain. Born in 1840, Charlotte was the only daughter of King Leopold I. She was bright, cultured, and intensely driven, fluent in several languages, deeply religious, and unusually politically minded for a royal woman of her time. But behind her grace lay ambition. Charlotte wanted not just a title, but a legacy. In 1857, at the age of 17, she married Archduke Maximilian of Austria, younger brother of Emperor Franz Joseph. The couple settled in Miramare Castle, a majestic place Maximilian built on a cliff overlooking the Adriatic Sea. There Charlotte began crafting a court of refinement, filled with books, art, music, and treasures from across Europe. One of the most cherished of these treasures came from Hungary. Herren porcelain. Charlotte commissioned a special dinner service from the Herren manufactory, a hand-painted design inspired by the Asian aesthetics, then fashionable in European high society. The pattern combined delicate flowers and intricate lines in bold reds, blues, and golds. It was elegant, exotic, and utterly distinctive. Herren named it Miramar, after the castle where Charlotte and Maximilian once dreamed of building a life of peace and beauty. But history had other plans. In 1864, with the encouragement from Napoleon III of France, Maximilian and Charlotte sailed across the Atlantic to become Emperor and Empress of Mexico, figureheads of a new European-backed monarchy in the Americas. It was a bold and controversial move. Charlotte, now Empress Carlota, threw herself into her role with energy and hope. She studied Spanish, met with local leaders, and tried to build bridges between European traditions and Mexican identity. She believed that elegance and culture could help bring unity, and she carried that belief into every corner of court life. At Chapultepec Castle, she recreated the refined setting of European palaces. The Herren Miramar porcelain, with its vibrant Asian-inspired design, became the centerpiece of imperial banquets. Guests dined on a blend of French and Mexican dishes, served on a plate that seemed to glow with color. The porcelain wasn't just decoration, it was a symbol of Charlotte's vision: artful, cultured, international. But the empire was built on unstable ground. By 1866, France began withdrawing its troops. Republican forces led by Benito Juarez were regaining strength. Desperate to save the crown, Charlotte returned to Europe to plead for help. She went to Rome to see the Pope and to Paris to confront Napoleon III. When both refused to see her, her spirit began to break. In Rome, she collapsed, consumed by paranoia, fear, and grief. Her mind began to fracture, and she never returned to Mexico. Maximilian, abandoned by his allies, was captured and executed by the Republican forces in 1867. Charlotte, now a widow in all but name, withdrew from the world. She spent the next 6 decades in isolation at Boeghout Castle in Belgium. Though her mental health never fully recovered, one connection to her past remained: her Herren Miramar porcelain. In her private chambers, a cabinet displayed the china, still gleaming with red and gold. It was a relic from a life that seemed like a dream. Her staff often found her sitting quietly before it, gently touching the plates, as though they could transport her back to Chapultepec, to Miramare, to Maximilian. Porcelana del alma, she would sometimes whisper, porcelain of the soul. She died in 1927 at the age of 86, a woman whose life began with a promise and ended in silence. On her deathbed, the last word she whispered was Mexico. But her story lives on, not only in history but in porcelain. Today, Herren still produces the Miramar pattern, a striking Asian-inspired design that carries within its memory of an empress, a dream and a fragile empire that once reached across oceans. It remains a testament to Charlotte of Belgium, a woman who believed in beauty, culture, and the power of porcelain to unite worlds, even when everything else was falling apart. She was a princess of Belgium, a queen in her heart, an empress in exile, and her memory lives on in porcelain. If you like my video, please like, subscribe, write a comment, and let me know what you would like to hear next. Thank you and have a nice day.